Welcome back, everyone. My name's Erica, and I am so happy to have you here for this whip chat. I am working on The City of Love by Artify and the one with the diamond art. I've gotten probably a little bit more than a third finished with this canvas. This part down here is almost done. This over here is done, and I have been working on the hair of the subject of this diamond painting. So this is going to be a big update, life change whip chat. So I hope you'll stick around till the end. And in the comments, please let me know if you think I'm completely insane. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and like this video if you end up liking it. Thanks so much for checking this video out. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in to this area of the hair, and we'll pick out a drill to start using. I also wanted to show you how I've been working out of the baggies from this kit. The one with the diamond arts, don't come in heat sealed bags. They come in these baggies. And I've been working out of the baggies, and let me just show you real quick how I've got those lined up to make it easier for me when I work. So I am loving working out of these baggies, and I wanted to show you how I've got them lined up next to my canvas while I'm working on them. And all I did was kind of lay them out in numerical order. All the ones, starts with 3s, 4s, 7s and 8s, 9s, and so on. I have the fairy dust diamonds over here. And you know what's funny? They almost look more like ABs. They do have glitter on the top, but do you see how the color of the drill is silver instead of purple? Same thing, let me show you the blue ones that are pixie dust or fairy dust or whatever you want to call them. I don't know what the one with the diamond art calls them, but see how that's silver at the top? But what's funny is the lighter colors aren't like that. They blend in. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out. It's not necessarily good or bad. It's just something that was a little surprising. Okay, I zoomed in. I've really been enjoying working on her hair right here. I'm probably gonna regret that when I get to the poor parts over to each side where it's a little bit less interesting, but nonetheless, that's what we're gonna be working on today. I am using the same pen that I'm pretty much always using from Diamond Art Club with an 8 placer. I do fill up the 8 placer and use it all the time. I am also using some free tray that I got with some, I think, Dreamer Designs kit. This free tray that is super cheap is my favorite one. I am also using my light pad because I have found that the one with the diamond art, which this is the first one with the diamond art that I have ever worked on, it's a little tricky because the background color isn't necessarily going to match the color of the drill. So like, for example, with the X's, you might find a pink X or a gray X, and it's going to be the same thing. So that's, you know, it's not that big of a deal, but it's a little bit troubling. We're going to start with color 347, which is D, which is also part of the subject's hair in this one. And we'll start placing drills. I've been enjoying this one. I've only been working on it for about a week. Yeah, I've gotten a lot done in a week for me. I also had this past week off, so I got more done than I normally would have gotten done. Just make sure this is in the frame. Okay. So I promised that this was a big life update video, which it is. And if you've been listening to my videos lately, I have definitely already briefly spoken about this, so it's not going to come as a big surprise. But yeah, I am in the process of getting my house ready to sell, which, apologies if it's super echoey, because I have been in the process of like boxing things up and working with stagers, and what the stagers have told me in so many words is that everything in my house is hideous and everything must go. So like that includes the rug in this room, which dampened things quite a bit, as well as every single piece of art on the wall. And I had already taken all of my personal like photographs down. So I know that much. I've moved across the country, I think 3 times. So I'm not a newbie at selling a house or understanding that buyers don't want to see your personal stuff. But I was a little bit surprised that like my, fine art, I guess you would call it. I mean, it's not from a big box store. Like some of it, we actually like have had artist friends that we've commissioned to do some artwork. They're just not interested in us having up. So I'm going with it and following their advice and taking everything down. So that's been a process, but in the process, it's gotten quite barren and quite echoey in here. That's what I've generally been doing for the time that I've had off this past week, is getting the house ready to sell and diamond painting, basically. I mean, I've just been meeting with people. I was meeting with realtors to select a realtor, which was not the easiest decision. I was hoping that I wouldn't like some or all of them, and then that would make it a little easier. Zoom out a little bit because I think I'm getting out of frame. But it was not an easy choice. So that's no fun. I mean, I personally called the ones that we weren't using to tell them that we did not select them. And I interviewed 2 out of the 3 of them without my husband because he is still out of town for his current job that he's quitting until he's getting back in about a week to Texas, so he can help me then. But yeah, I've been meeting with carpet cleaners, having them come over, home cleaners, having them clean, window cleaners, carpet people, painters. It's been a lot, boxing things up. You know, the last couple times I've done a corporate relocation, so I was spoiled. I had people show up and pack up everything in my house in one day and transport it to where it was going. So it's a little bit difficult. It's not difficult, but it's just different. And luckily my husband and I do not have a lot of stuff. We're pretty minimalistic besides, the diamond paintings. And so we have a storage unit that we're putting things in. And one of the things that the staging people also said was, which I understand, we needed to get rid of some of the furniture that was in the house, or at least get it out of the house while it's being sold. So I've been working on that, but some of the things are too heavy for me to move on my own. So it's more of hurry up and wait, get it to where it's not in the way, and then wait for my husband to get home so that he can help me move it. I could probably ask a neighbor or something to help me move a few things, but I just don't like to ask people for help with anything, really. So I haven't done any of that. So that's what's been going on over here, just kind of trying to I keep trying to put a drill down there and there's a cover on it. Just trying to get the house ready to put on the market. I don't know. That's all that color that I see. Oh no, there's a couple more over here. I mean, no matter how many I think I've gotten, I know I'll miss some. But I see a couple more over here. It's hard to talk in diamond paint. Where'd that D go? So in about a week and a half, our house will be on the market. And I wanted to sell our house a couple years ago and rent. My husband would not agree. And I kind of wish we would have done that. The market was better then. I know the interest rates are not great right now, so we'll see how long it takes to sell. We really take the tact that once our house is on the market that we don't live here. I mean, we won't typically cook in the home. We just live we try to keep everything as perfect as possible, but you can only do that for so long. So I'm hoping it doesn't take an exponential amount of time for the house to sell, but that's kind of outside of my control. So I'm gonna try to just do what they've told me to do as far as the realtor and the stagers, and then just try not to worry about it. I think that's easier said than done. I think that was all those colors. I'm gonna move on to this kind of brown color, 632, which is L. And again, I'm enjoying working on these bags. I think it's so much easier. The only thing I will say is that when I got all these little baggies out, a lot of them weren't sealed. So if you pick up any kits for the first time, like I just did from the one with the diamond art, make sure that you just don't assume that they are actually sealed. L. All right, so this is the L. And so what are we doing? Why are we moving? So we have some property in Montana. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's on many acres. There's no home on it. We've been working with an architect to get plans for the home, but it hasn't actually been, it hasn't been started yet. And we're talking to builders, and it's kind of more expensive than we thought, probably. So I don't know, we need to make some probably revisions to that house, or figure out if we're willing to spend the amount of money that we've been quoted on it, which I don't think we are. But we are going to pack up and move across the country from Dallas-Fort Worth area all the way up to western Montana, which, if you have not made that drive before, which I have once, it is about a 25-hour drive. So we will be doing that over the course of probably 3 days, maybe 2, but probably 3. And so my husband is doing, I've told you, my husband's doing a consulting job, so he will be continuing to travel around the country for work, but he is a consultant, so he's contracting with different companies to go consult about business. And I have to decide what I would like to do with my life, because I'm a lawyer, and it's not, I have moved several times, but it's not always so easy to move when you're a lawyer if you want to keep practicing. In Montana, I haven't looked into it in depth, but I believe the only way to practice law in Montana is to take their bar exam. And I have been practicing for about 20 years. I have taken 1 bar exam. And while I'm certain I could pass another bar exam without actually even having to study, I mean, I'd have to study, but not too much. Every state has its own thing. Like, for example, I never took the Texas bar, but I waived into Texas, which you can do if you've been practicing for a certain amount of time. But like, for example, in Texas, one thing that I would have had to study in the event that I had taken the bar exam here would be oil and mineral laws, like gas laws, because it's not a thing anywhere else that I've practiced. So I'm sure Montana has, it might be that subject, but I'm sure that there's probably like some water riparian rights, things like that I would have had to study for, but I just don't know. I just don't really want to take another bar exam. And so that kind of eliminates, or I believe that 100% eliminates working as an attorney in Montana, unless I am wrong and you can waive in. So that brings me to, do I want to see if my current employer will let me work remotely? I don't know if they would or not. I think I'm aware of like one other attorney that's worked remotely, who's not with the firm anymore. And I'm aware of a couple like big partners that are working remotely, but I'm not a big partner. So I just don't know if I want to work remotely in the legal field. It is, you know, you have hearings that I wouldn't be able to go to from Montana. I could send somebody else, but do I want to do that? And if I have a trial, do I want to come back from Montana to Texas to handle that trial? So that's what I'm trying to decipher. I do like my job where I'm at, but I'm also, the point for this move is to spend more time outdoors, to kind of decrease stress levels, to hopefully enrich our lives. And do I even want to continue to practice law? I'll always be a lawyer, but do I want to continue to practice law, or is the approximately 20 years I've been doing it, has that been long enough? And so I'm contemplating that, and it's not something I have to decide right now. I do have to decide rather quickly if I'm going to ask to do my current job remotely or if I'm going to give my notice. But I'm still gonna be a lawyer. I'll always be a lawyer, even if I take some time off to figure out what I want to do. So it's, you know, I've moved across the country a few times, so I'm not that nervous about that portion of it. I've packed up a whole lot of the stuff that we have already. I mean, I think we have like 4 plates, 4 bowls, you know, 6 cups left to eat with. And as soon as the house goes on the market, we'll probably transition to just paper plates. So, you know, I've packed up a lot of the stuff, and then we'll get movers to move the big stuff. That part of it, the logistics of that doesn't really intimidate me. Moving to a place where I don't know anyone doesn't really intimidate me. I don't really know anybody in Montana except for the realtor that sold us property up there and a builder. That's really it. So, but that doesn't intimidate me. The cold weather, that's going to be a transition from Texas for sure. I have gotten completely acclimated to hot weather. Like I think 90 seems not that hot now. Before I moved to Texas 6 years ago, I absolutely would have thought 90 was hot. So there's definitely some big transitional points. I think I did grow up in a cold climate, and I lived for 14 years in Indianapolis area. I grew up close to Michigan and Ohio. So, I mean, I have survived cold winters, but I have not survived a cold winter in about 6 years. And so I definitely think that's going to be a transition. Like I don't even have like a real like big winter coat anymore. I just didn't feel the need to have that type of thing here because I don't think it gets cold enough. So I'm not that worried about the weather. But you know what is the one thing that is really different that I'm not necessarily worried about, but I would say we'll see how it goes, is the ruralness of where we are moving to. Like, I think that the town that and we'll have to rent. I don't even know if we'll rent in the specific town that we're building in because there's just not a lot to rent. I mean, I think that there's around, to give you an example, 200 people in the town that we're building in. It is super small. Like whenever we go up there, it's a situation where everyone knows that you're not from there because they don't recognize you. I've never lived in a place that rural before. So everybody knows your business because there's just so few people. So again, I'm not really worried about it, but it's just different. I think that's going to take the most getting used to. Like there's not going to be we are running to the grocery store because we forgot something it's, you know, a Costco's at least an hour away, probably a little bit more than that. And now that I think about it, the Costco that I go to in Texas is probably 30 minutes away. So, I mean, it's still double. But yeah, I've never lived in a place this rural. I've never lived in a place that had so many animals that could kill you. I mean, there are grizzly bears. There are black bears. There are mountain lions. There are wolves. So yeah, I'm also not actually worried about that. I'm looking forward to being in a place where I can be outdoors more. I can go hiking. There's so many places to go hiking. I can, go swimming in a lake in the summer. Maybe, if I assume it's gonna be like ice water, even in the summer in August. I can see mountains. I've never lived anywhere where there's mountains. I'm a little nervous about driving in the winter in mountains. I'll probably have to be careful about that the first winter that we're up there. And do I want to go out that day? How hard is it snowing? That type of thing. But yeah, I'm overall just excited. I don't like the process of selling a house. I find that to be pretty stressful. So I'm not looking forward to that. But as soon as we get to the point where we have an accepted offer and have an inspection and have a closing date, then I'm gonna allow myself to actually get excited. I don't allow myself to get that excited until I think all of the contingencies that need to happen have happened. So I guess that's probably the pessimistic side of me that you sort of develop when you're training to be a lawyer. You assume you have to assume the worst and, you know, plan accordingly. So that is what's going on. That is the big update, is that we're packing up, moving from Texas to Montana. I am also very much contemplating a separate YouTube channel about this whole move, as well as the process of building a home in Montana and what that's like. I have searched YouTube looking for, I need a new color here, looking for videos on building in Montana, moving to Montana, and there are some. There's a realtor up there who's got a channel called Living in Montana that's really good. But yeah, I'm interested to know. Let me know if that's something. It's obviously, it would have no diamond painting in it, but is that something that you'd be interested in? It'd be more like I'm guessing it would be like a vlog type situation, but I don't know. I'm thinking about that. I haven't set up a channel or anything. I haven't done anything for it, but I just think that that's something that there's got to be other people out there searching on that topic other than me. And I know that, you know, building a home videos are typically popular, but I don't know. Quite frankly, I could use the help that people would be able to give me on making decisions about building a house and decorating and picking out things in a house, because I do not have much talent with that at all. So that would be nice, and that would be a potential benefit I would see, because I know that people would comment on what they liked in the houses, what their experience had been with certain finishes, flooring, countertops, whatever it may be. So I'm thinking about that. Let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. I know that not everyone's going to be interested in that, because this is a very specific topic here of diamond painting that has nothing to do with Montana. But it is pretty main part of my life right now. It's something that we did not come to this conclusion overnight. We've purchased property in Montana in 2021, and we've been looking for property in Montana since probably about 2016 or 2017. And to answer your question, no, we did not We did not start looking for property in Montana because of the show Yellowstone. Everyone always asks me that. We actually started looking years before Yellowstone. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it was years before Yellowstone came out, but it was before Yellowstone came out, because I know that because the first place that I ever went in Montana was to Darby, Montana. And Darby, Montana is in the Bitterroot Valley, south of Missoula, which is the second largest second largest city in Montana. And that is where they filmed Yellowstone primarily, down in Hamilton and Darby. The Chief Joseph Ranch, that is the Dutton Ranch in Yellowstone, is actually filmed. Good God, Erica, tongue-tied. The Chief Joseph Ranch is in Darby, and that's the outside of that is what they show as the Dutton Ranch in the show. But yeah, that had nothing to do with it. I will tell you that the Montanans that I have spoken to, they hate Yellowstone because they blame it for making the state more crowded. And they really don't, a lot of Montanans are not super, it's my understanding. I can't speak for Montanans because I'm not even in Montana yet, and I still think it's gonna be quite a few years before I feel like I'm a Montanan. But if you do happen to be from Montana, feel free to correct me in the comments. But I think that the gist that I get is that the Montanans would like for the door to be closed and for nobody else to be able to enter Montana, especially if you're from California and in some cases Texas. So hopefully we're not met with any disdain from people who would prefer that we not be relocating from Texas to Montana. But if that's the case, I'll just say, listen, I only lived in Texas for 6 years, and I never felt like I was from Texas. I don't know if that'll help or not, but that is the truth. So yeah, that's the big news that's going on here. Have you all ever made a decision like this? It is doable because we don't have kids. If we had kids, I do not think we would be doing this. The schools where we're moving to are not exactly, in my understanding, winning major awards. But I am excited to have mountains. It's just so pretty up there. There is a river that runs behind our property. Behind our property, there is Forest Service land, which is not going to be developed, right? That's owned by the US government. And so there's a river that is on that property. But that property is about, 20 yards off of our property. So it kind of feels like we have a river on our property without actually having paid the prices that we would not have been able to afford to actually have a river on our property. So I'm excited about the views. I'm excited about all that. I presume it's going to take about 2 years to build. They don't have as long of a building season because of the weather. So it's not going to be anything that happens overnight. And that's why I was thinking maybe a YouTube channel would make sense, because that's the wrong color. There's some very similar symbols in this kit, I will say. Like, there's a greater than symbol that's not bolded, and there's one that is. It's like, give me a break. But yeah, one of the reasons that I thought maybe this would be a good time to start a YouTube channel about moving to Montana is because I could take it from groundbreaking until the house was built, because nothing has happened yet. Right now we have some testing going on for a septic to be put in. We had to, when I say we, I mean other people, dug holes on the property in order to do some testing of the water to make sure that we can get an approval to put in a septic system. I certainly hope that we get the approval, because otherwise that's a major problem. And after that, we have to run electric. There's no electric to the property yet. And then we have to dig a well. It is not going to be an off-grid home. Like I said, we're running electricity. I do not want to live in an off-grid home. I'm already going to be living in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, not only do I not want it to be off-grid, I also want like a generator. I do not want to be out there in the middle of nowhere, stuck with no electricity. I have had that happen. One time when we went up there, there was a storm, and the Airbnb that we had rented didn't have electricity for like 2 days. And that was not a lot of fun. So yes, that is my big life update, is that I have to figure out what I'm gonna do with my life as far as the job goes. I don't really see myself being in a position where I would not be working. Number one, from a financial standpoint, I would like to have that income, especially considering at least the initial bid that we were giving for the price to build this house. And then also, since my husband's going to be consulting, I need to try to get, I mean, we'll have Cobra for, I believe we can have that for up to a year, but I need to find a job that, I mean, I could use the health insurance through my job if I stay doing that remotely. But if not, I need to have a job that provides health insurance, because my husband is a contractor, will be a contractor at that point, and therefore he's not going to be provided with any health insurance. So not working is not really an option for me. So once I come to decisions about what I'm going to do, and I say that like, I mean, my employer right now maybe won't want me to work remotely. Maybe that's not even an option. So I don't want to be presumptuous, but we'll see what I decide. Oh God, you know, I hate the thought of having to give notice at a job, or even have this conversation at a job. Do you all feel that way? It's just so uncomfortable. I do like where I work, and I like my boss. If I didn't like my boss, it wouldn't be like, hey, I'm leaving, like, here's my notice. I'm not, you know, if I didn't like my boss, I wouldn't even consider whether I wanted to ask to be remote or any of that. But it is a situation where I do like my boss. So I hate the feeling of letting people down. And because, you know, there's a lot of work to do, and everybody's kind of needed. And if I don't end up working there anymore, they're definitely gonna have to hire somebody to replace me. And then how much notice should I give? Because I feel like I have to give more than 2 weeks notice so they have somebody to bring in. But at the same time, have you ever given too much notice and regretted it? Because I have. Like, I think I gave a month. I think I even gave longer than a month one time. And it gets uncomfortable, because I am the person that will work just as hard if I am leaving or not leaving. Like, I'm not gonna phone it in. But it at some point just gets awkward, where people assume that you're gonna be phoning it in, number one, and number two, I don't know. It's just like, well, we could do, you know, you're trying to weigh in on decisions, but you're leaving, and you're not the one that's gonna have to handle whatever the ramifications of that decision are. So lots to think about. As far as diamond painting goes, switching off of my big life news, because I'm sure I'll be talking about it ad nauseum in the next coming months, and you guys will get sick of it. Although, I don't know, I really enjoyed Daphne from Diamond Painting Anonymous she's still talking a lot about her move. If you haven't, her channel is so big that I'm sure that you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't know for some reason, if you're into diamond painting, you should be subscribed to Diamond Painting Anonymous. Okay, I'm having major cover minder issues. There we go. But she just moved about, I don't know, maybe in November? Sheesh. A while ago, maybe even October. She moved from Kansas to Canada and talked a lot about it on her channel, and I really enjoyed that content. You know, Oop, see, there's the wrong symbol that I'm trying to put down. Even though her channel is all about diamond painting, in her WIP and chats and everything, she's giving updates. Like I listened to her WIP and chat today where she's giving updates about kind of the differences between the States and Canada and how Americans generally assume that it's going to be similar, but it's not. And I've enjoyed that content. So that's what kind of got me thinking maybe I should consider starting a YouTube channel about moving. She said she's going to start one, and she hasn't yet. Well, she opened it and I subscribed to it, but I haven't seen any videos come up. So I am looking forward to seeing those from her. But so I've enjoyed that, even in her diamond painting videos when she's talked about. I think it's interesting to learn about the differences. I grew up 40 minutes from Canada. Like I grew up in Toledo, Ohio, where you would just take a bridge over at Detroit. So it wasn't very far. And it was kind of a popular destination to go. It was Windsor that was right across the bridge, especially when I was in high school, because there was a difference. I think the drinking age there was like 19. So I must say I did take a few trips to Windsor. But even having grown up so close to Canada, I really, and I've gone there many times, not necessarily recently, but I have gone there many times. And it's interesting to me because I don't really know that much about it. So I like that content. And she, like I said, she's been sharing about her move. And so I will try not to bombard you with moving stuff, but it's definitely going to be a topic of my channel for the coming little bit. Once we're up there, I do intend to probably show you like the snow and maybe the mountains every once in a while, but it's not going to be about, the diamond painting channel is not going to be about Montana. So yeah, if I decide to do something with a Montana channel, I will of course let you all know and hope that you'd be interested in coming over and seeing what I have to say over there. But I think, I think this might be kind of a short WIP and chat, but I think that's where I'm going to leave it for today. So I did get quite a bit of progress done, I'd say, on her hair. Got a little bit more to go, but I'd like to get this entire section, which I actually don't mind that it's not sectioned at all in this. I found that I'm doing very large portions of the diamond painting as a result at a time, but I'm trying to do, this is my hand for reference, I'm trying to do this whole chunk today. This one's going pretty fast, and so far I am a big fan of the one with the diamond art. I'm looking forward to doing my post review on this one. I've taken a lot of notes about this one already. Good and bad notes on this one, but overall, I'm definitely planning to buy more from the one with the diamond art, if for no other reason, because I have loved working on the baggies. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you think I'm nuts, like I said. And please come back again and check out my next video. I put out videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 5 o'clock Central Time, at least for now. Once we've moved, it'll probably change to Mountain Time. Actually, maybe I'll keep it. I don't know. I'm putting the cart before the horse there. But I appreciate you checking this video out. Please come back again soon. And until next time, happy diamond painting.